Ever wondered what it took to become a Chinese royal concubine? Spoiler alert, it wasn't all silk robes and power plays. The selection process? Brutal. The rules? Stricter than a reality TV contract. And the temptations? Well, let's just say power comes with a hefty price tag. The whole royal concubine gig started way back in the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, where the emperor's court decided it needed a steady supply of elegant females. And let me tell you, the selection process was as fickle as a reality TV judge with a vendetta. It wasn't just about beauty. It was about ticking all the right boxes in virtues, behavior, character, appearance, and health. Yep, like an imperial checklist for the perfect woman. Fast forward to the Ming Dynasty, and no household was safe. Every young, unmarried woman was up for grabs in this royal lottery. And here's the kicker. It wasn't voluntary. If you were single and healthy, the emperor's court expected you to show up. The only way to escape? Either being married or having a visible physical disability. So, what did families do? They rushed to marry off their daughters at record speed to get them out of the selection pool. Marriage rates hit the roof during these times because, honestly, it was a safer bet than rolling the dice with the emperor. But here's the real horror show. Some concubines faced more than just court politics. They were literally buried alive with their emperor when he passed away. The emperor's court wasn't exactly known for compassion when it came to funeral practices. Concubines were told to dress in their finest clothes, say their final goodbyes to their families, and prepare for the doomed day. Legend has it, officers outside the tomb could hear the terrified screams of these women as they were sealed away. Yep, ancient Chinese funeral practices weren't exactly kind to these women. It was all part of ensuring the emperor had his entourage in the afterlife. Imagine being treated like a glorified servant your whole life and then, boom, getting sent to the afterlife with the guy who barely remembered your name. That's not exactly a happily ever after. So, your luck really depended on the emperor you served. Emperor I of Han, 180 to 157 BCE, though, was like, wait, this is barbaric, and decided to cut the live burial nonsense. Instead, he introduced clay figures or wooden effigies to keep the emperor company in the afterlife. Problem solved, right? Well, not quite. Fast forward to the Ming Dynasty, and Emperor Hongwu decided, nah, let's bring back the old-school brutality. And with that, 46 concubines were forced to die with him. This grim tradition hung around until Emperor Ming Yingzong finally called it quits on the whole concubine sacrifice ordeal. The selection of concubines became an official system. If you were between 14 and 16, you'd better be ready for Judgment Day. It wasn't just your virtues on trial. Your appearance, behavior, and health were also under scrutiny. Think of it as a beauty pageant, with life-altering stakes. And once you made it, the real challenge began. With hundreds, sometimes thousands of concubines vying for the emperor's attention, it wasn't exactly a fairy tale romance. It was more like waiting for your number to be called, if the emperor even remembered you existed. The emperor had so many women that he didn't just pick randomly. Oh no, the concubines' portraits were presented, and the emperor would decide who was lucky enough to spend the night with him. And, surprise, surprise, bribery was rampant. Some concubines would bribe the eunuchs to make sure their portraits made it to the top of the pile, increasing their chances of hitting the jackpot. One famous tale involves Wang Zhaojun, one of China's 4 great beauties. She refused to bribe the court artist Mao Yanshou, and boy, did she pay for it. Out of spite, Mao painted a mole of widowed tears on her portrait. The result? Wang was completely ignored by the emperor, stuck as a lady-in-waiting. That is, until a foreign ruler, Hu Hanyi from the Xiongnu state, came seeking an imperial bride. Wang volunteered and finally got her big reveal. Her beauty was unmatched, and the emperor instantly regretted neglecting her. As for the artist, let's just say, he didn't live long enough to paint anyone else ever again. And then there's the tea about Emperor Wu of Jin, who took extravagance to a whole new level. After defeating Sun Hao, he claimed 5,000 women from Sun Hao's palace and brought them into his own. The man had so many concubines that he couldn't even decide who to spend time with. His solution? Pure chaos. He rode around the palace on a goat-drawn cart, and wherever the goats stopped, that's where he'd stay for the night. Naturally, the concubines caught on. Desperate to catch the emperor's eye, or the goat's hoof in this case, many started planting bamboo leaves and sprinkling salt outside their rooms, items said to be favored by the goats. Imagine the hustle. By the time the Qing dynasty rolled around, Emperor Xuanzhi narrowed the competition. Only young women from the Eight Banners families, part of the Manchu administrative and military system, could compete for a place in the emperor's favor. Han women? Not even on the roster anymore. Noble families from Manchu and Mongolian backgrounds were the chosen ones, and the stakes? Higher than ever. Want to leap from concubine rank 1 to 9 overnight? Good luck. The only way that happened was if you produced a male heir, the ultimate golden ticket. Empress Dowager Cixi is proof of this. She started out as a low-ranking concubine, but gave birth to the only surviving son of Emperor Xianfeng. With no male heirs in sight, she skyrocketed in rank, becoming the second most powerful woman in the empire, right after the empress herself. Talk about a glow-up. But wait, it wasn't all looks and luck. Before you could step foot in the palace, you had to pass a beauty test. We're talking serious scrutiny. Skin infections? Nope. Too much body hair? You're out. Body odor? Next. If you made the cut, then came the royal boot camp. You'd learn how to walk, talk, and gesture like a queen, or at least like someone who wasn't going to embarrass herself at court. And on top of all that, you'd pick up a few arts like painting, reading, writing, chess, and dancing. Because hey, just in case being a concubine wasn't stressful enough, you had to be cultured too. And the final test? Well, it's a bit odd. The chosen candidates had to serve the emperor's mother, but not in the way you'd expect. No, they literally had to sleep beside her. The purpose? To weed out any bad habits like snoring or sleepwalking. Can you imagine your future being decided because you dared to snore? Palace life wasn't for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. So, why on earth would anyone sign up for this grueling process? 2 words: money and power. If you became a favorite, you could have the emperor's ear and wield influence like no other. The right concubine could steer the empire behind the scenes, controlling court decisions, policies, and alliances. In short, it was the ultimate power play, and noble families would risk everything for their daughters to grab that golden ticket, even if it meant stepping into the dangerous world of palace politics.